Greetings, Exiles. BullShifter here. Tonight we are doing our first ever community play stream. So if you are actually up to the point in the game where you are mapping, definitely let me know, and I will send you an invite, or you can go ahead and just kind of join through the community itself. I should have a live session going. So we're going to go ahead, kick things off, and this is fresh after Chapter 10. I have done a little bit of adjusting with my items to actually get me to the resistances that I needed to be at. Obviously, chaos damage is going to hurt me quite a bit, but that's fairly standard. So, no big surprises there. I did change up one thing here, so I just want to test. That unfortunately did not work. Okay, give me just a moment. I want to see if I can potentially fix this. My Streamlabs kind of changed things up on me. Oh, it says it worked there. Huh, that's kind of odd. Oh, no, it showed. Okay, perfect. Nope, it's working. Good stuff. I mean, that's alright. I'm going to be doing plenty of these, so I mean, if people aren't necessarily mapping at this point, it's not a huge deal. Like, there's still plenty of League left, so and honestly, if I go through a few maps, if nothing else, and no one else is really mapping who's watching the stream, maybe we'll go run some Delve or something. I probably have to join someone else's session, though, in order to do that. Just to kind of, just to be safe. So I'm not, forcing someone who's lower level to try and run like a, much higher level area of the Delve. Okay, do you have all that active? I have kind of an awkward setup, so I actually need to kind of change the... There we go. Just got to lower the volume a bit. There we go. So unfortunately, to equip that amulet, I actually had to sacrifice a little bit of life to get my resists up, but it'll end up being worth it in the long run here. Getting hit pretty hard over here. Oh, it's probably because I have about 19 arrows being thrown at me. So hopefully I can get some decent drops here, just because gear's not too incredible at this point in the game. Typically it won't be when you're fresh mapping. That wand's not really going to help me out at all. Let's see, crypt armor, probably not going to use that. No. Well, actually, can start picking some of this stuff up actually to Start getting some Chaos Orb recipes in. Hey Soho, what's up? Happy Friday indeed. Thank God we finally made it. Yikes. Man, I knew my health was low, but that was just bad. In all reality, my health should probably be about 1,400 higher than it actually is at this point in the game. Oh, 6-socket. Yeah, that wasn't good. Ripped hard there. My assumption is it was probably chaos damage. Negative 60 to chaos resistance hurts. Typically endgame I like to have around 5k health. Obviously our life leech makes a little bit of a difference, but our life should still be higher to be mapping at this point. So I'm kind of playing gimped. I have that much stuff already? Yeah, I suppose so. Max, that's not enough max life. It's less than I got now. Ooh, yeah, that's harsh. My resists are fine, but my life is just really low. Because I've got 75 across the board except for chaos, which is pretty standard. The other thing I actually haven't done is I haven't run my last space out hard right now. My last, what's a chromatic? I'll keep that. My last lab I still have to run. It's been a long week. I can barely think. So I still have to go ahead and do that to get my 2 ascendancy points there. Let's see, so 2 weapons. That's a chromatic, so I was holding on to that. An extra chest piece. Crap, actually I shouldn't have identified that because the other one's a 6-link. Right now I'm basically trying to get 1 piece of everything so that way I can turn it in for a couple of chaos orbs. And my resists were fine until obviously I finished Act 10 and then you know, lose another 30%. So I had to implement some different items in order to make up for that, and unfortunately it dropped me down a few hundred health. this? Oh, we're bleeding. So as counterintuitive as this is, we need to just not move and just face tank here. There we go. So yeah, it's because of the fact we were taking some chaos damage and we were fighting Einhar's beasts. Einhar's beasts are a little stronger than the other monsters here on this map. But I'm gonna finish up this map. But if anyone else is to the point of mapping, this is our community play day, so we can definitely party up. So if anyone's looking to run some maps, just speak up, and we will do that. Oh snap! Yeah, your resists are plenty high enough. Let's see, more than 50 monsters to go. Oh, it's this area over here. Man, it's all blue and green items. I don't understand. They're like, nah, no strength items for you. Putting a kibosh on that whole leveling up or gearing up thing. Well, see, if your resists are up over 134 now, that means after Act 10, I mean, as long as you're past Act 5, that means you've already taken your 30% resist penalty for after Act 5. So you get another 30% resist penalty after Act 10. But if you're at 134, that means, you know, you're still going to be at over 104 for all your resists. So you can actually afford to lose like almost 30 resists off all your items. So you can actually free up a stat on your items and probably take, you know, a little less resist on each one of them and replace it with a different stat. Hey dude, how's it going? Stream party indeed. Why am I not hitting anything? It drives me nuts. Cyclone's fun, but the hit detection is really off sometimes. I really need that hit detection to stop doing that so I can not die here. Yeah, for sure. There we go, first map down. We got a helmet. Potentially. I've actually got two different. +7 in max life. You're killing me, Smalls. Life regen doesn't help us. So now we can. Some gauntlets potentially. These are both armor. Actually, oh, that's weird. The ones with the red and green are actually straight armor, and the one with the red is armor evasion. That's not going to do us any good either. Because right now... I mean, honestly, I may just have to go back and snag some of those side missions to get some more passive skill nodes, because I mean honestly, like, I have a decent amount of life added to a lot of these items, so I just need to get some more nodes in that tree. I've only been playing for like a half hour, 45 minutes today, and I haven't run into any problems yet, knock on wood. Yeah, my damage could be higher too, but purchasing an item off the trade market's a lot easier than re-gearing, you know, pretty much all your defensive gear. So now that we've done that, we can actually run everything from our hideout, which is much more convenient. And like, don't stress, guys, if you know, you're not mapping yet. Like, we'll have plenty of time. There's a lot of time left in the season to run maps. Let's see, 12% increase. That's like the lowest roll you can get almost. Correction, that literally is the lowest roll you can get. Not very good. So we've got 2 weapons, gloves, helmet, boots. We need a chest piece and 2 rings, and then we can turn that in and get ourselves a couple of chaos orbs. Some jeweler's orbs from this, chromatic from that. Maybe, no, didn't get an alchemy orb from that one. We got a decent amount of maps to drop there, at least. I think they're all tier 1 though. Throw everything else back in the stash. Tier 1. Tier 1. Yeah, it's all tier 1 stuff. Got 3 of the same though, so worst case scenario, we can always just hand those in and get a tier 2 that way. Oh, that's really cool. So this is different. I mean, there were a lot of patch notes for the new league, but I wasn't aware that they were going to do this. So basically, what you're seeing here in my map tab is they highlighted the different maps that are guaranteed to have the different masters in them. So like Armory map contains Einhar. If I look on the atlas, that's the Armory map. So that's a really nice feature they added. I was not aware of the fact that they were going to do that. That is super cool. That's a nice QOL right there. So props on that one, GGG. Well played. So that actually makes things a little easier. So sail on wing and back attachments, everyone. So instead of spending like $40 on wings, you can spend $35. Alright, so I wonder. So yeah, we still have that. Alva, Nico, Zana. Einhard, John. Oh, cool. So they even showed like the Shaper and probably the Elder influence maps then too. Yeah, that's a huge QOL. That's impressive. That's a good job. This map tab became a bit more worth it. That's super cool. Anywho, before I go ahead and run the next map, anybody in the chat mapping at the moment? Otherwise, let's see where... Shuffle my mine encampment. See what I got going on in here. So actually I haven't touched delving yet because I was just kind of rushing through the story. So let's see, how far down the delve did it actually put me? Depth 27. It's not too bad. I mean, so if no one's mapping at this point, but people want to delve, we can do that. I don't want to, you know, not do community play during the community play stream. That feels like false advertisement. So if anyone wants to delve, I think the easiest way to join, you can go to our BullShifters Exiles community, and my session should be open. So if you head over to Now Playing, you should be able to just go to Join Session. So I'll kind of chill here and give it a couple minutes. So if, you know, anybody wants to come delve for a bit, you know, we can kind of delve and hang out. Some gems, nah. Let's go get some azurite. Oh, no worries, man. And like, if everyone's still playing through, that's fine too. I just wanted to open up the option for everyone once I got to mapping. I personally just like running through the story on my own. I don't know why. Just my own personal preference. So yeah, I mean, like, if everyone's still kind of grinding away, we can just, you know, do a normal stream. That's totally fine. You don't think you'll make it through Act 9? It'll be fine. Are you talking about by the end of the stream making it through? I mean, that's totally fine. Like I said, just no pressure. Like, I just, since I recently finished Act 10, I just, you know, kind of wanted to open up the option of a community play day. But, you know, if it has to wait a few streams, you know, it's fine. Like I said, there's plenty of time left in the league. If that's the case, on Monday too, like if people are still finishing through, I can always switch to like my standard character, and we can kind of go through some crafting strategies too on one of these streams. I think that'd be super useful. Level 70. Just because, you know, there's a lot to crafting, and like I've made some videos on it and stuff, but I think it kind of helps to be able to see a lot more of it like live. I'm pretty sure you can travel to the person that you're partied up with. I'm trying to remember how. I have one buddy that I play with, and we haven't played together in quite a while. He grinded pretty hard for a while in Synthesis League, and he got kind of distracted by the end of Season 1 of Apex Legends, so he just hasn't jumped back in yet. So, since everyone's still kind of grinding away, I'll just, actually I can head back from the crawler. Go back to my hideout, and I'll just kind of keep mapping for now. Yeah, I picked those up because they're chromatic. Can never have too many chromatic orbs. And let's go ahead. I think I was at a health node cluster last I knew. Yeah. So 6% more increased life. That should buff us up a little bit. Yeah, 3,700. So, I mean, we have a decent, like, base. I need to get some more of those nodes. So basically, I just gotta keep leveling up. I just gotta keep grinding away. And, like I said, I gotta go back and actually finish some of my side quests. That'll help, too, because I'm probably leaving behind, like, a good 5 to 10 passive skill points that way, too. Ah, there you go. Yeah, getting that first solid item for your build, super nice. I was excited just to get my boots for this build to throw my second curse on there. I should probably start looking into actually getting a better two-handed axe. I just typically only really like to buy items from the market like when I absolutely need it, like when I just hit a wall with my character. I would craft, but at this point I just don't have a lot of currency yet in this league. I gotta, you know, keep running everything and get some more chaos and regal orbs. I only have one regal orb right now, which kind of sucks just because I prefer to craft items into blues and then regal them up to golds, which I think like a lot of people who craft do that. But, you know, early end game, you're just not going to have the regals to be able to do that. Oh man, no worries. July's actually a pretty big month for my family too. It'll be my kid's first birthday on the 12th. Time goes by fast, man. It's crazy. Yeah, so this character, like, my resists are good. I need more health, like quite a bit more health actually. And some more DPS would be good, but health is my priority right now. I can get a huge DPS boost by just actually, you know, improving my weapon itself. The weapon I have is just, it's under leveled. And if anyone who, you know, comes into the stream is to the point of mapping, like, you know, feel free to speak up. We can play. I just kind of started the league off pretty slow, and then this week I just kind of grinded away. Yeah, the nice thing is when you're grouped up and mapping is just the fact that typically maps will actually drop. I've run too many maps solo where I don't get a map back for running a map. One-handed sword and a shield. Useless. I suppose my damage output isn't too terrible, actually. I don't like how he's stacking up all these lightning guys on me. So we're chewing through the trash mobs pretty easily. The rare enemies take a little bit longer, but it's not that bad, actually. Ooh. I used Flame Dash last league for a couple of my characters. Flame Dash is nice. Flame Dash and Shield Charge are my two go-to last league. Which this league with the, I know one thing they changed with the update is you can finally use a wand with Shield Charge. Kind of felt like it should have been that way the whole time, but, you know, better late than never. Let's actually see. Dream Shadow Scepter. I mean, I won't be able to use it for this character, but it's an interesting little unique. Go figure, you get the spell-based uniques when you're running the physical attack character. Hey dude, how's it going? Doing well. It's a long week. Feels nice to just kind of play some Path and unwind. do get 2 extra days off 4th of July week though, so that'll be nice. Nice 4-day weekend. Yeah, dude, I was doing that literally right before the stream. My whole mindset was, you know, doing the community play. I was like, oh man, if I'm going to be mapping with people, I don't want to be 30% resist in the hole and just be dying constantly on my stream, letting down the people I'm playing with. But it sounds like a couple of you getting pretty close to mapping though, so keep pushing. Hopefully by Monday, you know, we'll have a few people, and you know, we'll just, I plan on doing a majority of the streams this league as like community play streams, so we'll try and rotate out, you know, in and get multiple people playing. You know, a lot of you guys are regulars, so hopefully by the end of the league everyone will, you know, get to come out and play at least a couple of times. There you go, Tanner. That's the spirit. Our life leech is ridiculous. I leech so fast with this build. It's pretty awesome. When it actually hits. I think that was actually the boss that we killed just now. Well, not just now, but a moment ago. One-handed axe. I got excited when I saw axe. There we go, two-handed axe. Crit strike, cold damage. Yeah, not what I'm looking for. Unfortunate, that is what it is. There we go, we killed it all. So right now, unfortunately my Cyclone is only on a 4 link. But I'm currently running MAME support, melee physical damage support, and onslaught support. Which is, I mean, it's working fine enough, like it's doing decent damage. My big challenge right now is just how low my life is. I mean, the speed of my leech life is kind of making up for it, but once I start hitting higher tiers, like it's not going to slide. But I still want to add a brutality support gem and an infused channeling support gem to to my Cyclone. I may switch it up, like eventually instead of using onslaught, I might just go with attack speed in general. Especially since I have a silver flask. You know, so I can kind of manually proc onslaught when I want to. But you know, I kind of like having it slotted at the moment. 84 max life, that's pretty decent, but I can't sacrifice all that fire and cold resist. I do have room to sacrifice, I think like 30, 25 cold resist. Aside from that, though, my lightning and fire are actually really close to where they need to be at. But, so, I mean, like, this ring, I've got 49 cold resist on this ring alone. So it's a bit of a wasted stat, actually. I could just craft something else onto it. 2 prefixes, 2 suffixes. Let's do that, actually. I don't want mana. Well, I mean, I suppose I could, but I regen mana too, so strength would give us some extra life and some physical damage. Attack speed would be good too. Yeah, I think I'll add some strength to it actually. 2 chaos is a little steep, but it's next level down. 2 elk. Oh, whatever. We've got the we're gonna be doing the chaos recipe, so spending a couple really isn't that bad. 28 strength. So I mean, we literally got middle of the road there. Next out of there, equip that. Let's see what's our life looking like now. 3,800. Still a little better. And so this is for those of you who haven't like seen my video on the chaos vendor recipe. This is kind of how I set this up. Actually, I'll usually organize it a bit better than this. So as I'm mapping, I'll go ahead and kind of organize this, you know, helmet, body armor, gloves, boots, belt. I'll put my 2 rings under that, and then usually I'll move my weapons all the way over here actually. And as I go through and pick up some more like miscellaneous items, and I leave these unidentified, so that way when I trade them in, I actually get 2 orbs instead of 1. Some of those actually aren't gold. I don't really care about that, so I'll put that belt down there. And basically I'll create 4 rows, and then once I finish one, I'll go ahead, trade it in, and get my 2 chaos, you know, rinse and repeat. Strength and dex. Strength and intelligence is more important for me at this point, so I'll put that there. And then the rest of the stuff can be sold, well, except for the unique. Stash those away. I mean, yeah, your life setup, it's based off of a few different things on how much life you should have for your build. Like, there's a lot of people who can get away with having, you know, lower life because they'll have energy shield that'll make up for it. A lot of people, when they talk about, you know, their overall life, they'll actually add their energy shield numbers to it. Because unless you're, you know, unless you have an enemy doing chaos damage to you, which, you know, supersedes your energy shield basically is extra life. So that's kind of included. Yeah, I do have a pretty decent amount of physical damage mitigation with my armor. So, I mean, that's something to take into account, too. I do still want to set up a cast when damage taken support gem on this character. And I have a lot of just routine maintenance to do with this character, but I don't like doing it on the streams just because it's not super interesting. Right now, I mean, I've got a 6 socket, but yeah, I need to get lucky with some rolls, because I mean, I really actually don't mind the affixes I have on this. I mean, I've got a ton of armor on this, a pretty decent max life roll, and resist that, like, triple resist. So I mean, you know, for being an item level 57, Like, this is actually a pretty decent piece of gear. You know, the rolls could be higher on it, obviously, but the rolls I did get are actually really good, all things considered. And you'll run into that sometimes where you keep a lowered leveled item just because it actually has the stats that you want on it, and the rolls are somewhat decent. Because, I mean, it has, like, if you look at the tier of the rolls, it's, you know, mid to high range, like rank 3 fire resist, you know, tier 3 armor, tier 4 lightning resist, tier 5 cold resist. The worst thing on it is that increased armor percentage. Even the max life is tier 6. So I mean, for an item level that's, you know, that low, it's really not that bad. Yeah, and like with this build, yeah, I can still map. The biggest thing, I mean, the biggest reason why I can still map is because of the fact that, you know, I am leeching life constantly, which makes up for some of that, you know, lost base life too. This is kind of, I like the beginning of the Atlas. Just initially, like, running all the early maps first. Monsters take a little longer to kill, that's fine. And that's the thing with, like, you having so many different build options when you're running a character. There's not really, like, a universal answer for a lot of things. It's all really build dependent. You know, there's a few, like, you know, obviously, like, your resist always need to be high, and you need to have a decent amount of health, or, you know, some type of damage mitigation or secondary defense, but, you know, it's really based off of what you're doing with your build. A lot of it's experimentation. You know, if you're getting one-shotted and, you know, you have full resists, then yeah, like, you probably have to focus more on your life. But, you know, typically if you're getting one-shotted, it's 9 times out of 10 your resists. It's just easy to forget about. Because that's the thing with a build like this too. Like, as long as I'm in a position where, you know, it takes at least 4 or 5 hits in order to kill my character, I should be able to... Ooh. I get destroyed there. Gotta pay attention. Also, if you're streaming, don't stare at your chat for too long. You might get yourself killed. Got the blood stance. I like blood stance a little bit better at this point, at least for my cyclone build, just for the extra damage. Yeah, I don't know what killed me there. It just must have been a matter of not paying attention. So that's 2 on the rip counter for tonight. I'll have to go back and watch that, see if my hits were registering. Because on a leech life build, that'll get you killed before anything. Yeah, it'll take some pretty decent RNG for me to replace that chest piece. It just fits the build really well. Of course, it placed my Ancestral War Chief all the way over there. that's the thing too. Like when it comes to your gear, like it's not like Diablo, where typically you can follow the little arrows, and 9 times out of 10 the game's going to tell you the correct choice to make. A lot of the times you're going to have to just kind of sit there and decide for yourself, am I willing to sacrifice this stat for a boost in this stat? Am I willing to sacrifice a little bit of that armor for some more life? Someone told me in one of the other streams that I did previously that like a lot of the PC players are randomly getting one shot in maps. I mean, with 3.7 they did change a lot of stuff in the game. They implemented a lot. So running into bugs doesn't surprise me, especially when you add that much stuff on such a large scale. I just wish we'd see some performance increases. Like, I've still been rubber banding like crazy in this league. I've only blue screened 2 or 3 times, but yeah, the rubber banding's definitely still a thing. Let's see what I picked up there. Scouring orb. Nice. Oh no. Blue screen of death. Right when I was talking about it, it rears its ugly head. Alright, game. Touche. This is actually the nice thing about streaming with a capture card. Yeah, welcome Tanner. Glad to have you, man. Dude, the PSN group's been growing. I've been happy with it. Like, there's a lot of people chatting in there, like a lot of people helping each other out. It's pretty awesome. A lot of good people in there. Dude, like, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Like, the crashing and like the performance issues, like, it's a problem. Like, and I don't know. Like, I think they're losing a lot of players on console because of it. Like, I hear more and more from people like every day of people who just aren't gonna play it until it gets better. And like, dude, I love this game, but I don't blame them. Like, they're not wrong. It's frustrating. Like, I totally get it. Like, it's unfortunate because, like, I really like this game. And, clearly, I really like this game. And, like, I want other people to, enjoy their play through the game also, which is why I make all the different content on the channel and all the tutorial videos, trying to help people out. But when people are getting frustrated because the game's not functioning, like, I can't blame people for that. Yeah, I did mention the screen that was not to be named, and it came and got me like the boogeyman. So we know it's not the Beetlejuice screen because I had to say it 3 times and I only said it once. A little bit. I've made a few changes to my Cyclone build. Most of them are minor, but there is one major skill node I'll show it to you here in just a moment. So if you go to the passive tree, I think it's down here. I built down the Spirit Void. Sustaining mana was a really big issue for this build. You know, Cyclone's not an expensive skill mana-wise, but when you're continuously using it and fighting larger mobs, like, you need a decent form of mana regen. Spirit Void does the trick. And that's not something that was on my original build, just something I neglected, which is why, you know, I typically will leave those, you know, 10 to 15 points off. And I actually haven't picked up the Impale nodes that I had on that build either, just because I've kind of prioritized grabbing my health nodes first. Aside from that, though, it's been pretty close. Oh man, I hate to be pessimistic, but I've pretty much given up on that trade market. Don't get me wrong, like, there are some decent people on there. Like, I have run into people who are selling their items for, you know, fair prices. But, you know, when I got people telling me that they want 5 chaos for an amulet that just is good because it has resistances, are you kidding me? I'm gonna give you 5 chaos for an amulet that has a bunch of resists, when I can pay someone else, you know, a chaos or less for one with 2 resists and just mastercraft the third. And it wasn't even a 3 resist one. It only had a little bit of chaos resistance and then 1 elemental resistance. I think it was cold. But I don't know. I mean, like I said, there's been enough decent people to where I've been able to use the trade market as much as I need to. I find crafting more fun anyways, but I need to actually gather more currency in order to, you know, do some serious crafting. Yeah, see, like, I kind of don't get the consistency of some of the damage in 3.7 because, like, I got melted by a pretty small mob, like, out of nowhere. But then I can come through and just, you know, face tank this boss. And, like, stand right in his attack and be fine. That's weird, man. I don't quite understand exactly what's going on in this league. Another map, at least. In regards to the build, though, once I hit, like, probably about level 85, which I'm at 70 now. So once I climb up, you know, maybe level 80, so like another 10 to 15 levels, I'll probably make an updated video going through the build. Just because I've typically found that when I create a build, it's usually kind of around that level 80 area that it's become more solidified. Let's identify it. Not very good. Armor and evasion. How much armor is on my current helmet? 286 with 35 strength is good. I probably need that intelligence for one of my blue gems. That armor stat is almost non-existent. Max life is nice on that though. And a really small amount of lightning resistance, that doesn't matter. Yeah, I've already got one helmet, why not? Oh, that is a terrible life roll. Whatever. Fodder. See, and this is kind of what I've talked about in the past too with, was that a gold item? No, it wasn't. When it comes down to knowing, like, which items you don't want to identify and you want to, like, keep behind. Like, for these, I'm just essentially looking at the base. Like, energy shield armor, nah, I'm not too interested. I kind of just want flat armor. And, I mean, this chest piece is so good that, you know, I can kind of afford to be a little picky with that. This I would normally identify, but I just haven't really found enough other helmets yet. These gloves I could probably identify, but like these ones, evasion rating, armor and evasion rating, and the fact that my unique boots are pretty much a staple for this build because of that applying an additional curse. Like, I can put any boots that I loot in here, so I don't have to identify boots anymore. You know, these belts, I'm not building energy shield. I don't really care about stun duration, even though my leap slam does stun. Life regen is completely useless on this character. Strength and dexterity is decent, but I need strength and intelligence just because of the fact that I think it's requires, yeah, my enfeebler requires 125 intelligence. And I'm sitting on 126, so I mean, that's one I have to be careful with. Sell this stuff off. Nice unidentified map. The game does reward you with some better drops if you run an unidentified map, but you do have to keep in mind that if there's specific maps that your character is going to struggle with, like if you're running elemental character and one of the unidentified modifiers ends up being, you know, enemies reflect elemental damage, like you're kind of screwing yourself on that one. So it's all risk reward. Let's see, so we've got one more tier 1 map to run, and then we've gotten our bonus across all of those. Point blank. It's only one mod. Let's add one more. Didn't grab it. There we go. Less effective curses on monsters. That kind of sucks, but it's not that detrimental. And so, anyone who's not really familiar with what I'm doing there with the maps, I'm just turning them into blues. Just because if you check out the atlas, I'm trying to increase that number there in the middle that's next to that 159. Increasing that number actually gives you a better chance of having higher level maps drop. And that's from the different bonus missions, which you can see, like when you look in the atlas. Kill boss of magic or higher version of this map. That's basically going to be your bonus for tiers 1 through 5. You can kind of see here. So yeah, tiers 1 through 5, you're going to get bonuses for killing the boss on a magic map, so a blue map. That's why you, at least the first time you run all those maps, you upgrade them to blue. Yellow, so 6 through 10. Those ones, it's killing a rare boss or higher. So, you know, you're basically going to be using either, well, you'll most likely be using alchemy orbs to upgrade those. And then tiers 11 through 16 is corrupted maps. So, just some food for thought. Oh, that's right, I already placed the portal and opened it up. I think it was around Act 9, because I know I talked about it in one of my most recent streams. Jeez, it's not registered. Lag death. That's those performance issues at their finest. Yeah, it was unfortunate. Weren't even really that many enemies there to lag that hard either. It just sucks because after you die, post Act 10, it's a 10% penalty. Yeah, whenever you guys want to play with one another or like join up in one of my groups and play, like the community is the easiest way to do it. You can actually see everyone in the community's current sessions and you can just join their sessions. That was kind of how I planned on doing the Let's Play events, the community plays, once everyone's, kind of to the point of mapping and we can all play together, is basically the first 3 people to just join the session will be, the 3. And then, I'll try to kind of keep a running list just so nothing against anyone who, always wants to play, obviously, but lag again. I'll try and keep a running list just to make sure like everyone can, participate who wants to participate. Which is kind of the beauty of, being a smaller YouTube channel, is that's much more realistic. Once I finish this map, I'll honestly probably call it a night. I don't work tomorrow or anything, but like, I only slept like 3 hours last night because I stayed up way too late playing Crash Team Racing. Even though I couldn't really get into any online games that weren't completely broken, because their servers were really, really bad yesterday. They fixed it since, but it was pretty bad. Yeah, I mean, that's the reason why I don't play hardcore. Like, it's just, like on this map, like I lag died. There's literally nothing I could do about it. So like, if this was hardcore, that means now I can't play League content with that character because the game lagged. Like, that sucks. So, yeah, that's why I just play, the standard League character. If I die, I can keep playing League. If they optimize the game and get rid of some of the performance issues, maybe it would be fun to try out a hardcore character, but it's just like, if my hardcore character dies, like, I want it to be my fault. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want it to be where the game lagged and then I have to just feel super disappointed. know, if I die on hardcore, I want it to be on my own accord, not the game itself. My gems are leveling up nicely, though. Nice thing is, though, since I'm still in like the super early level 70s, it's not that difficult to make up for experience that you lose when you die. I feel like once you hit like the mid 80s, though, if you die in game, you're just kind of shooting yourself in the foot at that point. Endurance charge up, I like stun support. I actually have that attached to my leap slam right now, which is friggin' genius. I'll show you why. So leap slam, damaging hits always stun enemies that are full on life. So I see a new pack of enemies and I just leap slam on top of them, and then at that point, I just spaced out and lost my train of thought. I'm really tired. Oh yeah, at that point, you know, since I have the endurance charge on melee stun support, it automatically gives me some endurance charges, which is, you know, also a little bit of defensive layering. Yeah, sorry about that. I'm way more sleep deprived than I realized. So, are you past Act 10, Sosa? Because you won't actually be able to use any of your maps until you're past Act 10. And it's one of the few things the game actually will kind of walk you through. But essentially, you get taken back to, you get taken back to like another town hub area, and from there you'll talk to Zana in this little side area after that, and she'll show you the map device, and that's what I keep putting these maps into, is this map device. It's not necessarily based off a level, it's just once you finish Act 10, like that's when you're going to start running all of your maps. That's where you progress forward from there. I mean, that's essentially endgame. But yeah, like I said before, super tired from staying up way too late last night. So I'll probably call the stream here. You know, keep grinding away, guys. You know, we'll do plenty of community plays in the future, so not a big deal that we didn't really get around to it tonight. You know, trust me, I don't rush through the game all that much. I just kind of went hard the last few days trying to get through Act 10. You know, take your time. Like I said, I'm going to do this all league long, so you know, anyone who wants to play, you should definitely get your opportunity. And I'll try and make sure that I end up being able to play during the stream with everyone that I possibly can. So, you know, I definitely want to make sure that no one gets left out of that experience, because, you know, it's fun, and like, it's not something a lot of the larger streamers get to do. So I don't expect the channel to ever necessarily blow up, but now that I am a smaller channel, it's nice to do things like this while I can, just in case if things ever do take off, I don't want to miss out on an opportunity like that to get to play with, some subscribers early on, especially you guys who have been supporting the streams and the channel for so long. I just feel like it'll be a really fun experience for, not just you guys, but for me too. So yeah, just keep plugging away, and once you get there, we'll party up and we'll run some maps, and it'll be a good time. And we can run some delve, we can run some other stuff too. So, don't stress out about it. We'll get there. It'll be fun. It'll be a good time. And don't feel pressured because you're playing with me. If we die in the maps or do whatever, like, it's for fun. It's strictly for fun. Like, you're not gonna get ridiculed or whatever. Like, everyone who's in the chat and who watches these streams has always been super nice. Like, dude, I die during my stream sometimes. Like, have fun. That's my biggest thing. Like, my big things behind the channel are, learn as much as you possibly can, and just, enjoy the game. It's a game. You're supposed to have fun with it. You're supposed to enjoy it. That's literally the whole point. So, with that, everyone have a fantastic night. Thank you so much for tuning into the stream. Definitely looking forward to our future community plays when, we actually get to group up and run some content. So, hope everyone had a good time tonight. I should be on again Monday night. So, yeah, if anyone grinds through during the weekend, we'll grind some maps on Monday. So, again, thanks for watching. I will have some videos upcoming through the next week. I do want to do one on loot filters, because I've had a few people asking about that. So I do want to kind of give some examples of what the loot filters do. And if I can level up enough, maybe we'll revisit my skill tree for my build. If not, that'll be coming within the next couple of weeks also. So have a great night, everyone. And until next time, may the RNG be with you. Always.